What is up, guys and gals? I know we do have some ladies that join in, and ladies, tell more ladies. Got to get that got to get that percentage up. It's 2% of women watch our stream. I guess that's not bad. I'd be curious to see what the other channels are getting, but we do have 2%. 2.5 to be perfectly honest. Guys, I did some work, and Steve won't be with us tonight. He's going to see a band tonight, him and his wife. So we are going to be down one moderator. But that's cool. Oh my gosh, we already got a super chat. Thank you so much. That's really what funds the channel, guys. It allows us to buy instruments. And we do have a guitar giveaway this month. This month's guitar giveaway is a Gretsch. It is a HH configuration in purple. It's a great guitar. We will bring it out a little bit later and play it. If you want to enter to win this month's guitar, all you have to do is be publicly subscribed to the channel. Okay, that means go down and hit the subscribe button. Then you need to go over to the Discord server that we run, well, Devastator runs, and go into the opt-in room. It says guitar giveaway, and post your name there. Okay, if your name on Discord is different than your name on YouTube, please put I go by blah, blah, blah on YouTube. That way we know who you are. And that's it. It's really simple. If you noticed, we don't charge anything for you to subscribe. There's no fee to get on Discord. It's 100% free. You can't beat that. Guys, I bring up Steve because Steve had mentioned something the other week. I have a Line 6 HX Stomp, and I use it when I go on vacation. And I think it's okay for vacation. And I don't know. I think we lost connection. It's saying it's reconnecting. Guys, can you guys still hear me? It looks like we have an error with YouTube. Is that the case? It says it is reconnected.
It is. Turn my mic on.
Okay, your mic is on now. Your mic should be hot.
Is it on?
Yep.
Okay, your video seems to be back up.
Okay, for whatever reason, OBS is like or YouTube is way behind the other part. Usually there's about a 20-second delay, something like that, but it seems to be quite a bit of delay. We've had some connection issues, but to go back what we were talking about, the HX Stomp, I really haven't given this Stomp pedal a lot of love. I never uploaded the Helix edit software to my computer, and navigating on the little tiny screen that this thing has, it's kind of rough. And I think that was the main reason I didn't really mess with it too much. Let me go to the other camera, and you can see right here, I have the little HX Stomp, and there's just a little teeny weeny, window where you can go through and look at your presets on this thing. It really isn't much. So I did put the edit software on my computer today, and I can't show it to you because I did order new cables. The USB-B to USB-A cable that I had hooked to it was making a lot of noise. So I didn't order an upgraded cable for this. So I did disconnect it from the WingEdit, but I did play around with a couple of the settings, and this is kind of what I come up with. And this is my first attempt at programming a preset with this unit through the computer. It was easier I will say that. I was able to move stuff around a little easier. You guys tell me what you think of this preset. We're just going to do some goofing off here. So basically what I did, so everyone knows, I have split the chain, and there is a little bit of, there's two signals. So I have some of the effects on the one path and some on the other path. If you're familiar, that you can kind of drop it down. So I have the delay on one and it's merging back together. So that's what I come up with. I don't think it's too bad.
Kurt said, sorry to say, but your HX Stomp is the best piece of gear for streaming on YouTube.
It may be, Kurt. It very well could be. I just never used it for that. I used it as like a little headphone amplifier when I traveled. But I never put the software on my computer, and trying to do a preset through this little teeny weeny screen, it was a nightmare. I only spent about an hour going through it. I'm pretty good at programming DSP units and stuff like that. It took me a second to realize that there's blocks on the line that you don't see, okay? One block is always active, okay? So I would go down and hit something I want to add, and it would change the block. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong here?
You're using your HX Stomp, right?
Yeah, this is the HX Stomp that we're using tonight. So I'll switch back over to the camera. You can see the little stomp right here. I like it because I can talk and play at the same time. There's no problem with me talking and playing. It feels a little different. I'm sure I can get used to it. I'm not going to say that I feel a delay. I don't really feel a delay. It's probably just something in my head. There's something different about it. But I'm not feeling a delay like in the strike or anything. I probably just got to dial it in. I think that's pretty good. I spent most of the time figuring out how to upgrade the firmware on it. And then I realized I couldn't upgrade the firmware until I put the Helix Edit on my computer. Once I put Helix Edit on the computer, it automatically come up, hey, you need to update your firmware. Hey, you need to update this. So it's completely up to date. I still hear the funny sound though in the reverb. And I'm not using a lot of reverb in this for that reason. People talk about the applied research technology reverb and delay really sucking because it has an artifact. This is worse. the reverb in this is worse. It's cleaner and it's not as noisy, but the artifact is worse in this. It has a funny, it doesn't matter what you do to it. Even you can't bring it forward in the room. Everything that you put the reverb on and the delay, it seems to really push it back in the mix, like it's down in a hole. And I played around with every setting, and I just couldn't get that image to come forward on it. So if anyone has any experience with the HX Stomp and has figured out, you know, now this is 100% stock. There are no factory presets. This is the first factory preset. I wiped it. That can figure out what I'm doing or something I need to add to make the reverb just makes the whole signal sound like it's distant. And I get it. People go, oh, that's reverb. Yeah, it is sort of, but this does it a lot. I can't. I don't know. It could be just a perception thing because it's something I'm not used to. But I'm not a fan, and the delay. Since I upgraded the firmware, I can't find tape delay now. So I don't know if that's something they removed, but in the HX edit or the Helix edit, I couldn't find tape delay. So this is an analog delay that I'm using here. And it took me a while to get rid of the artificial sound the amplifier had. There's a couple really good models, or I guess simulations of amplifiers. Some of them just have a really funny, especially if you crank up the gain. Like on this preset, I forget, like I had to disconnect the USB, but I'm only at like 50% gain. If you pick an amplifier and what I noticed, again, this is coming from someone that hasn't really spent that much time with it. It seems like anything over 65% on the gain, it starts getting that digital clip, scratchy, artificial sound. I don't know. I think the effects are cleaner and a little warmer sounding than what I can get out of the Yamaha. But the Yamaha has a more forward sounding reverb and stuff. It doesn't push that sound back. Does anyone know what I'm talking about or have any experience with it? Just need a slapback delay. I'd have to look at the presets on that and see if there is a slapback. Yeah, see it completely disconnected the HX edit. Because I had to unhook the cable. But I'm going to start tinkering around with it. It's already hooked into the Wing system. It was hooked up the other week. Like I said, I've been really trying to get everything reconnected.
Maybe put a reverb in the effects loop.
It does have an effects loop. I just don't have a reverb pedal. Guys, I've never done pedals. You're talking to a guy that, you know, when I was probably 19, that's the last time I bought a pedal that I used playing out. I always bought rack mount units or multi-effects rack mount units. I've got a digital delay, a chorus, a TS9, and a NuX Edge. And that's pretty much all I have up there pedal-wise. And all those were bought for YouTube. So, and guys, I know, I really want a Strymon. Like, I think it's called a Big Sky, if you guys are familiar with that one. I know that's like next level stuff. I saw an H9. I'll probably end up getting something like that. I think it's either the H9 or H90. And it has delays and reverbs in. I'm probably going to get something like that because I could technically put that in my effects loop over here and get rid of the crappy delay and reverb that's in my ART. I love the flanger and the chorus. Art had it. The tri-stereo chorus and the flanger and the phaser effects and the ART are top notch. Even though they're 16-bit, they're top notch. It just has an issue with the delays and reverbs. It has a funny sound, and I can hear it in this. It's a different funny sound, but I hear it in the line 6 too.
Do you have two SGX? Is that a spare sitting there?
Yeah, the one on the top is just a regular. This one right here is a regular SGX 2000. Okay, that's just that one has not been modified. It has one solid state preamp in it, and then it has one tube preamp in it that only uses 112AX7. And it's just the SGX 2000. The one right here, okay, that one is an SGX 2000 Express, and it has the updated EPROM chip in it, and it has the ADA mod in it, and it's running two 12AX7s. I like this one too. What the older EPROM chip, I think, does some things better than the Express, but overall, they've made a lot of changes and fixed a lot of things in the Express, especially once you put the updated chip in it. Yeah, it's a backup unit. I have two of everything that I felt was important. Like you'll see this unit right here, the little silver unit. That's the same as the silver unit right there. That's a backup. I do not have a backup Pro Valve because I couldn't afford one. Right now, if I was going to do something, I don't know if I'd buy the Pro Valve over again. It's a heck of an amplifier, but it's such an obscure amplifier. Most people never heard of BK Butler. And when you do find them, you'll find the MOS valves, pretty reasonable. I don't want a MOSFET power amp. I like 4 6L6s. There was one on Reverb for like $1,200 a couple months ago. It's an older amp, so you got to think the electrolytics and the caps and all that stuff ages. So before I spent $1,200 on a 35-year-old power amplifier that's most likely going to need the electrolytics updated in it, I think I would look at maybe the Synergy 50x50 power amp, but I think that's an EL34 power amp. I'm trying to think of the name of the company that makes. It's Engel. I think Engel makes a 4 6L6 rack mount power amplifier still. Most of them go between $1,400 and $2,000 just for the power amp. And they're doing something else. Like if you look at the new power amp that they make, they all have 12AX7s in them. And if someone here knows why you would put a 12AX7 in the power stage, in the power amp, please put in the chat. I had never heard of that. I don't know if they're using it for color. I mean, the power amp has its own color anyway. I'm not understanding why there's two 12AX7s in these new power amps. It's not a preamp, it's a power amp. So I'm kind of curious what they're using the 12AX7s for. I know the Engel has it and the Synergy also has it. I'm pretty sure it's EL34s, and then it also has a 12. That one I think only has one 12AX7. I think the Engel has two, and I think 4 6L6s. I'm just not understanding what the 12AX7 is doing in the power amp stage. I'm going to guess color. I'm looking at the chat, and I'm not seeing any suggestion. Johnny Bean says ADA. The ADA units were nice. The issue the ADAs had if you didn't put a gate in them, when you really got them with the TS8 or TS9 in front of them, they would get kind of hairy pretty quick. And then you had to turn around and buy a multi-effects processor, you know, for your effects on the backside. So they were really popular for a long time. But once the SGX come out and Digitech come out with the 2101 and the 2120 and the 2112 and the Artist Edition, you'll start to see the ADA kind of fell off from the semi-pro players. Maybe some of the pro players continued to use them because they could afford all these different pieces. So a lot of the semi-pro players, like what I was doing, we couldn't afford that. So we were trying to look for units to downsize our rig and not have so many components and to keep our costs down, but still be able to get that sound without carrying 50,000 pedals that hummed and with independent power supplies. It was different 30 years ago. A lot of people were like, oh, you know, you just get a little power supply, it's independent. You know, you get a little case. Well, that stuff didn't exist back then. It really didn't. I mean, when you bought stuff like that, it was stupid expensive. Yeah.
Kurt said his dream power amp Mesa Boogie 2020 Dynawatt EL84 all-tube stereo power amp 1U rack space.
Yeah. 1U is the problem. You can't fit a real tube in a 1U space. Now, I'm sure the EL84, I like them. I think I would go KT88 before I went EL84. And Kurt, man, you know, just like I do, I'm pulling your chain. It's taste. If the EL84 has your, we'll enlighten the women. It has your mustard and ketchup, and you know what sauce to put on top of that. A lot of people use them, just like the EL34. I always liked the fatness the KT88 had. The problem the KT88 has, in my limited experience, it seemed like you really needed an extremely hot preamp in front of it. It's almost like the KT88 tube cleans the signal a little bit. You really need to push it a little harder to get the warmth out of the power amp. The 6L6s, a lot of people don't like the 6L6 because it can get boomy at the same time, and it can also be kind of scratchy. But I use it because it's so harmonic friendly, and it doesn't seem to have the, I don't know, like it's like a mid-low push that the EL34 has. And guys, it's all about EQ, and sometimes certain pieces of equipment just don't play well with other pieces. So my experience is based on the equipment I had. So someone would go, hey man, try this power amp. I'd plug into it, I'd try it. Hey man, try this preamp. I'd plug it in and I'd try it. Well, you're trying it with the other equipment that you have. Sometimes, just like even Kurt will admit, my ART sounds pretty good. He didn't have much success with it. It may have been his speaker cabinet. It could have been his power amp. It could have been something of that nature didn't play well with it. You know, there are so many variables. That's why when you're chasing an artist's sound, it's not just his controls. It's what all is he using and where is it in the chain? Is it guitar to EQ pedal like we did in the last stream and he's shaping it? And then he's got a boost pedal and he's boosting whatever preamp he had. Is that preamp stock? There's so many things. I used to always say, well, this sucks and that sucks. And I don't anymore, because especially if you see someone out professionally doing it, there's a reason the person did that. And I may not understand it, and I may go, well, that kind of sounds bad, but there's a reason he's doing it. if that makes sense, especially a professional musician. They're not going to deal with a bad sound unless it's giving them something in return that they can't live without, if that makes sense. And I do it in my rig. Okay, I don't necessarily like this, but I like what it's doing for me over here, so I'm going to live with it. Yeah, I just thought we'd talk about it tonight. We could talk about the equipment. If I wanted my dream amplifier, I would throw rocks at Mesa Boogie, the Marshall, the Engel, the Synergy. I would want a purple 4U VHT. That is the power amp. You guys can say whatever you want to say, but if you want the best tube power amplifier ever built, you want a purple VHT. I think they made maybe it was a 3U. Might have been a 3U.
Can you use a reverb plugin for the stream?
I can put a reverb plugin just on the HX Stomp. I try not to do that just because someone will call me out and say I'm post-processing. Everything you're doing is post-processed. Because if you're putting effects here, technically it's going through the wing rack. I have nothing in the wing rack. I'm showing off this pedal. But I could technically put a reverb on it. Okay, hold on one second. Let me pull up the HX Stomp. Actually, we can go to WingEdit. Let me see where that is in the window, and you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, WingEdit. Here's the WingEdit program. So the guitar, if we look at the screen, we are on 13 and 14, and I'm sure this is not set up properly. Yep, our pan is incorrect. So I want to go down here to pan. And I'm going to pan that one, and I'm going to deliberately do that. And now we're going to go to 14. I'm going to set the pan up. I'm going to pan it. This is going to make a big difference in the way it comes across. Okay, now we have separation. Now, I don't use this that much, but we can come down here to this one. This is our effects chain for channel 13, and it's only going to affect the left because we're doing a stereo signal. So let's say we want to add effects. Let's see what's in here. So these are the effects that we can pick from. Spring reverb, vintage plate, delay and reverb. We want to kind of stay away. Let's do shimmer. Okay, let's turn it on, see what we get. Here's our mix. Let's take a little bit of it out. Wrong button. Sorry. There's a lot of buttons now, guys. So you can instantly hear, I don't know what you all thought of that. You can instantly hear that is far better than the crappy reverb that's in the Helix. Hey, don't get me wrong. I mean, you guys got to think. And I'm not going to pick on the HX Stomp. It's a $550 Stomp pedal. And the architecture's old. Okay? It's an older architecture. And I don't see Line 6 going to, you know, they've got the new stadium software stuff. So whether or not how much of that's going to filter down to this, I don't know. But I can instantly hear the difference. So let's go back to the WingEdit. So let's listen to it really quick with the plug-in. Now let's turn it off. Let's turn it back on. That's got a lot to it. So I would actually, you know, on this Shimmer, I might take that down just a little bit. Let's take our size down a little bit. That's much better. Now we can go into this one. We're going to leave 14. Now I'm going to show you a trick here, guys. Let's go back to this channel. So let's deliberately bring this over. That way we get a little bit across. Now remember, every channel is stereo in the wing. So we're still getting stereo separation. So let's go to 14. Okay. And you can hear how that instantly made a difference. So if we bring this back, okay, now you're going to kind of lose a lot of your stereo separation. You hear the difference, guys? So we can make this almost, it's not really set up to do it, but we could let's pretend we're going to do this. We're going to bring this one back. We're going to keep our stereo separation, okay? Now, again, every channel is stereo on the wing, all right? So this channel, channel 13, okay, that has our shimmer and our reverb, it's technically stereo, okay? So let's bring that one stereo, and we're going to take the 14, and we're going to make this a wet on our dry mix. So let's take it out a little bit. If that's too much, we can bring it back. Now, you're at -13 and +2 here. Okay, so if we punch this up just a little bit more, we're bringing our dry signal in. Okay, I view it as a dry signal, even though it's not technically dry, because we do have a delay in 14. Okay, it's just not getting the plug-in that the wing rack is applying. So let's just assume this is technically our dry, and we're good with this signal, and we want to add a little bit of that into it. So when we punch this up, does that kind of make sense, guys? I mean, I would bring this back to about right here. That's not horrible. I'm looking at my meter. That's about where I would go with it, if that makes sense, guys. Has anyone tinkered doing that? And before everyone starts throwing, I can see the comments now. Oh, that's so cheating. That is so cheating. It's not cheating, because when you guys are listening to albums, believe me, that sound engineer is doing a crap ton more than that. There's several guitar tracks, and each guitar track has different principles applied to it, and they blend to taste. If you think what you're hearing on that album is just an amplifier with some guys with some pedals plugged in front of it and his amplifier sounds that way, you are seriously delusional, because you can't get it. I forget, Joe Bonamassa. Go check out this cat's lives, okay? When he's playing live. He's got like 15 amps behind him. Now, I'm not saying they're all live at one time, but that band is playing 3, 4, 5, or 6 amps simultaneously. And he's got different things going on. This amp might be carrying his lows. This is punching his mids. He might be putting his reverb just on his mids, and his low-end cabinet's not carrying it. That way it doesn't get that boomy effect. You can do the exact same thing through your mixing console if you come in. You can set up an auxiliary send just with your reverb, and then really cut the low and cut the high out of it to where the reverb is only influencing the mid section of the guitar. It's still going to be on the low, but it's not going to be so much where it starts getting that boomy effect when you're chugging it. You hear it? Reverb will give your low a boom. So to eliminate that, you can leave that channel where it is, okay? Copy it without the reverb, okay? Go out on aux in, put your reverb in, and on your return, that channel, cut your low to where when you blend that channel in, you don't get that. other than that, I think what we have here is decent. If we go back to our setup here, what we can do, 13 has our reverb in it, okay? If we go up to here, we have a high cut, so let's engage our low cut and see if that makes a difference. It helped a little bit. So now let's do a little bit more editing. Let's cut it back. See that little change right there killed my... So this frequency right here is the one we gotta tinker with on how it drops off. That's not horrible. We can cut this. See, we're still at 60 right here. So our 50 is like right here. I don't want to cut any further that direction, guys. Now I'm using this one. I don't want to cut it anymore because you're really going to start killing your signal path, if that makes sense. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it right there. But there's so much we can do with the equipment that you have. I guess that's my thing. I need to spend more time with the equipment that I already have. My board was old, and you guys, you notice we don't have the dropping of channels and the carrying on, you know, when I'm moving sliders. It's just baby steps. Figure out what's causing your issue. Buy a piece of equipment. And I'm 100% bad for this. Try not to buy too much and make too many changes too quickly. Because if you, let's say you change two things and there's an issue. Well, you don't know which of those two things are creating the issue. So get something that's working for you. If you think there's a problem, pull that out and add something, okay, and see if you can make it work. If you change one thing at a time, you'll know, okay, that's causing an issue. If you start changing, and I just did it the last stream, the reason the stream failed, I changed multiple cables in multiple input locations simultaneously, and I missed one. I should have unplugged one thing. Okay, now it's going USB-A to USB-C on the back of the computer. Make sure the computer sees that piece of equipment, even though I just plugged it into another port. Go to the next cable. Once I resolve and I make sure everything's right and it's working, unplug the next cable that was causing an issue, reroute that one, make sure everything works. When we get in a rush, sometimes it ends up costing us. But I'm not overly, I mean, this isn't This isn't horrible. And we can bring this in if you want more of a forward sound. See, now you're blending the dry signal, which isn't technically dry, but let's just say those two channels, we're blending the channel that does not have the plug-in in. So we're using it basically like a wet dry. And this right here, I don't know. There's a lot on that. I would take more of this shimmer out, to be honest with you. Let's drop it down to, well, that's as far as it'll let me drop it. That's about as low as we can add. That's not horrible. I mean, for sitting here just kind of doing the best we can on the fly, I would probably leave it that way. I'd come back the next day and go, wow, that's a lot of reverb. But see, I added more of this signal into it. Now it's starting to sound like it did before, but it sounds like it's way off in the distance, if that makes sense. If we go back, it's more forward sounding the more we use the plug-in. So you can kind of hear the difference there. Hear how it sounds kind of... It sounds more distant. If we go back, let me see, if I go back and I punch this one up and I take this one out. Let's take this one more out. Now it's going to be more in your face. That's the difference. Basically what I'm doing is I'm showing you the reverb in the wing, the plug-in, versus the reverb in the stomp. So let's do the exact opposite.
Can you play this over a track so we can hear this in a mix?
I don't. We're doing more and more trying to get things, you know, a little better, if that makes sense. I have to watch what I do on playing tracks. YouTube will give us strikes, but I am working on it, guys. This channel's growing, and the person doing it, I'm learning. Okay. I've never streamed before. This channel always did pre-recorded reviews. To sit here and do a stream and make sure everything's working. And if you talk to most people that are doing a stream, they would probably laugh if you told them I was using WingEdit. They're going to use something like a podcast or something like that. The reason those type devices work, they're very user friendly, and the higher end ones like Blackmagic makes, you can set those up to where when you push a button, it automatically goes to a different camera, changes your angle. A lot of these guys that you see doing a lot of fancy things, and we're talking about channels that have 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500,000 subscribers. They're making money, and they can buy that kind of equipment. I bought the Wing because for me, well, it was expensive, but it's not expensive compared to like a Midas board. And I can use SMPTE code in the Wing, and in the future, as I upgrade cameras, I can use the SMPTE code to lock the Wing and Reaper to the cameras. I know I can do that. Wherein if I went out and bought like a high-end podcasting rig, I wouldn't be able to do that. So yeah, this is going to be a little more complicated, but it's coming. I don't even have, if you look, where's it at? Right here, that's my Akai. So it's not even hooked into the Wing yet. I'm out of tabletop room. The Akai used to set right here. Once I get the Akai up and hooked up, we get some stuff moved around, we're going to start doing some basic tracks just to play over. It's just time, guys. You know, I got to pick my battles. You know, there's a lot of YouTube channels that already do that kind of stuff. So I'll probably just make something generic just to show tunes. But I don't think this one would be too horrible in the mix. I can't take the reverb out of this one because I had to unplug the cable. If I remove the reverb in this and just use the reverb in the Wing, I think that would make a tremendous difference. The stock reverb in the Line 6 just sounds so distant sounding. But it feels very natural because when I made a mistake right there, it felt like my big amp. It had that same falter, like it wanted to hold the note, and then when my finger wasn't quite there. It feels very natural. I could see why a lot of people use the Line 6 Stomp. We'll probably end up just doing this, guys. I do have the microphones and stuff hooked up on the tube amp tonight, but I updated the software on this. I figured, well, why not? Let's try it. And the Yamaha's Linnell's amp, so I can, between this and that and the Egnator, we should be able to demo pretty much anything.
Kurt said there's different reverbs in the Stomp unit.
There is, and I couldn't tell you which one I'm using, but I did go through a bunch of the reverbs that are in it and a bunch of the delays. Whatever programming they're using, they all have the exact same. I want to say sound. I can't explain it. It's like if someone asked me, what do you mean, what's the artifact in the art? It's got a funny sound in the reverb. It's a different funny sound. This is like a clip kind of artificial springy type thing that the art does. This sounds like it sounds like you put a blanket over your speaker cabinet. That's what it sounds like. If I take the reverb out, instantly the signal will be brighter and more in your face. It sounds like someone threw a blanket over your amplifier. That's probably the best analogy that I can get. And going through, I went through maybe 10 or 11 different ones, and they all kind of had that same, I'm going to throw a blanket over your amplifier sound.
You can change the tone on all the reverbs also.
Yeah, I just need more time. Maybe I can work it out, but whatever the factory settings were when you first engage it from Line 6 on the new update, that's what I was using. And then I would go in and try to brighten it up and make it sound more forward. I did notice when I was on the site, there's all kinds of free downloads where you can download certain things that people's program for it. I've heard some really kick butt sounds from the HX Stomp. I just haven't been able to achieve them. But I listen to other people, And I know it's in there. I just gotta get it. I'm not jiving with the reverb, and I'm not jiving with the delay in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Kurt said the factory settings all suck.
yeah, that's another thing. All these companies, I mean, think about what Kurt just said. If I owned an effects company, I am going to put 20 or 30 presets in this that I feel are just top notch. And I'm going to send it to my loyal people that I know use this thing professionally and say, use this for 6 months and tell me what you get. And please write us a preset. And when you get that, then you put it out on the market, because when you walk into Guitar Center or Chuck Levin's, or let's say you're up in Indianapolis, up at Fort Wayne, you walk in, you plug your guitar in, and you're like, wow, these factory presets suck, just like Kurt said. There's so many people that probably just like me kind of go, okay, how do I fix this? If that's already present and you hear, it's like, wow, that's a great reverb. Wow, that's a great delay. That's a great chorus. That's a great flanger. Listen, that distortion sounds like a real tube amp. It doesn't sound scratchy like a digital artificial. Give us 20 good ones. Show us that the unit is capable of it. And then if you write a program and it sucks, you're like, well, I must suck because this preset is awesome. I don't understand manufacturers. I think they lose. Line 6 has probably lost a lot of sales because of that. I'm sure NuX and all these other companies that make multi-effects processors, I see it all the time. Liddell's little Fender, that thing has got some horrible presets in it. But there's a couple that are just like, oh my gosh, this is an awesome preset. And when I go through it, I'm like, okay, the amp is capable of a decent distortion sound. It really is. The GTX 100 is quite capable of a good distortion sound. High gain, it's a little weak. But a good solid distortion, it's capable of it. And it's very capable of some very clean open air sounds. Like the reverb, the Fender amps that you think about when you think power and clean, it does it. But there's presets on it that show it can do it. Okay. And I sat down with it for about an hour and I wrote a pretty good preset. But it's got 200 presets, and there's probably 20 or 30 that are, in my opinion, show what the unit can do. And there's probably 20 or 30 that are just like so off the wall, I don't know what you'd use them for. They sound like something that you plug your guitar into a video game or something. It's very strange. But these manufacturers do that. I don't understand it. Just when I bought this, it had 10 programs, presets. That was it. 10 presets from the factory when I bought this. The rest of them were blank. Did anyone else buy a Line 6 HX Stomp and only get 10 presets? Because this one came with, and I know it was new because I broke the factory seals on it. It had 10 presets. That was it. Very, very, very strange. I was not used to that. All right. Are we missing anything, hon?
No.
We are at the 1 hour mark. I don't know if Vox is in the chat tonight or not, but we're calling first break Vox time. We're going to take a 5-minute break. And if you have, again, I really rely on Kurt because he has a studio and he does a lot of recording. So guys, when Kurt says something, he's basing it on his point of view. So I depend on that. And especially somebody that records and does things like that. They have different equipment, different experience. Sometimes that experience can lend over to what you're doing and go, okay, this person's making this work. How are they doing it? So I value everyone's opinion. Tone is fire, Blue Mox. Yeah, I was watching Blue Mox on Guitar Universe. I think it's Guitar Talk Universe. I thought his tone sounded fine on that. I think he's a good guitar player too. I was checking. If you guys don't know that channel, go check them out. A bunch of guys get together and they just play over a pre-recorded thing. So it's actually pretty cool. It teaches those guys how to play in different key structures, and that's actually kind of hard to do. We're going to play in A minor. We're going to play in A major. We're going to play in B flat. Just to pull that out of your butt and be able to play over this or that. I'm more A, E, and D. If you start getting me in other places like that, I can play it, but you're going to hear me hit more sour notes or be a little more unpredictable, if that makes sense. Everyone has a strong point. So what those guys are doing is they're getting on and they're playing and they're working through what they need to say, oh, I can't go here or I can go here. And it's actually pretty cool. I've watched it a couple times. So go check those guys out if you haven't. It's a cool channel. All right, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break. If there's another topic that you guys want to go over when we come back, please put it in the chat. And we're going to do one last demo of Joop's guitar because the knobs are on it. And I think he missed the last stream when we did it. So we're going to plug Joop's guitar into the HX Stomp. And it will be leaving here very soon, heading back to Joop's house so he can abuse it. And that's what it was built for. It was built to be played and abused. So guys, post some comments down below and tell me what you guys want to go over. I'm the noob. Steve plays random shit keys all the time. Who the fuck plays an F? Right, but dude, I'm telling you, doing that is what pushes you to learn. Because it's like you just said, who the fuck does it? Well, he does it. Okay? And when you learn it, it's going to open up other windows. It could be like what you're probably, oh, it's very uncomfortable. That's what makes you better. When you start going, wow, I can't go this. I'm used to being able to resolve right here, and you're an F sharp. You're going to go somewhere, and you're going to be with some guys, and they're going to play something different, and it's going to be like, I can hang with this because I've played an F sharp before. Maybe just for one night, but I have tinkered around with F sharp, and since I'm in front of people, I kind of know where I need to stay so I don't make a mistake. And it just gives you enough insight to where you can box yourself in. If you're playing around someone, I can play these notes. Okay, I'm not going to go out of my comfort zone, but I know I've played an F sharp and I can play these notes. I'm gonna stick right here. But you wouldn't know that unless you did what you guys do. So I think that's cool. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys, let's take our 5-minute break. If you haven't already, please go down, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. And if you hit subscribe, head over to Discord and enter in our free giveaway. When we come back, before we break out Joop's guitar, we will plug in the Gretsch and we'll do a couple sounds on the Gretsch, and we'll go over the giveaway guitar for this month. And it will be do the spinning wheel the last Saturday of this month. All right, guys, get a snack, get something to drink, and we'll be right back. And I got to make sure that I hit the right button. We want, see, it's Saturday night, so it's the Saturday night one. That's intermission. I got too many buttons in OBS. I think it's this one. Okay. Trying to think here, guys. Here's this month's guitar giveaway. This is a beautiful guitar, guys. And I don't have my tuner plugged in, so I'm just going to tune it by ear. Close enough for government work. Let's see. So see where we're So I don't have a setting on the HX Stomp setup to do clean. That's a lot of reverb. That's neck, center position. That's center, and here's the bridge. This is a $319 guitar, and I am really impressed with the overall hardware and electronics in this guitar for $319. Is it the best of everything? No, it's a $319 guitar. But it plays so nice, and I think the pickups have a good sound. The tuning keys are nice and smooth. Go back and watch the full review that we did. If you go to the channel, click live, and then go down to where you see the Gretsch review. The only thing about the tuner keys, it's probably like a 15-to-1. So when you just barely turn it, it makes a change. The pickups do really well because on these alternative phrasings, they're articulate enough to pick up that. I really like this guitar. When we did the review, everyone seemed to like it, and I was like, okay, what would be a good guitar to give away? And I think really, if you're out playing live, if someone steals this, it's not the end of the world. It's a $319 guitar, but it has a good enough sound from the factory. It plays nice. It holds tune. For me, this would be the ultimate dive bar playing guitar, because I don't want to take, my Schecter into a hole in the wall. I just don't want to. The bouncer's too busy worried about trying to pick up the girl at the bar, and he's not paying attention to the drunks that are hopping up on the stage. Ask me how I know. It's got a kick butt sound. I can't do cleans because I only have one preset. If I was keeping this guitar, I would raise the action. The action on this guitar is stupid low. Let's check the action so you guys can see how low it is. It is way too low for me. I like to be able to dig in a little bit more. The low E is 0.035 on the 12th. The high E is 0.0275. It is stupid low, too low. That action's just. I mean, if you're a shredder and you can do that, you'd probably pick this thing up and go, "Wow, this is stupid." But for me, it just feels funny being that close. Maybe I'm just not used to playing a guitar with the action that low. But that's testament on how good the fret work and stuff is done on the guitar. I think you'd get a little bit more sustain out of it, and you could dig into the instrument a little more if we raise the action. It plays nice. So if you guys want to enter to win this great guitar, just go over to Discord and go into the guitar giveaway room and say, yes, I'd like to be entered to win the Gretsch. And you have to be publicly subscribed to the channel. And that's it. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. So the next thing you get, because you don't just get the guitar, you get a Gator gig bag with the guitar. Let me get the gig bag. So here's the Gator gig bag. And these gig bags go for $30. So it's a $319 guitar and a $30 gig bag plus tax. So when we open this up, you can see it's a padded inside. It's a basic gig bag. And I say this is a gig bag because it's not a soft case, because it folds when you hold it like this. It does have a zipper here, and it's quite a large little pocket that you can put stuff. It has two handles right here. And then it also has the back strap. So you can run it as a you know, backpack type deal. But it fits nice in here. And I have looked at a bunch of different units. Hopefully that's, I'm going to mute that channel just in case that's doing weird things.
Jupe said, Avery, no need for all that. All you got to do is box it up and send it to me.
Jupe, I'm telling you, the action on this guitar is, it's crazy.
Yeah, Kurt said he was impressed you weren't getting dead notes.
There's a couple in here you guys might not have heard that die off quick, okay? Because you got a little bit of a radius in the neck. So I noticed on the B string, probably the 15th, 16th, when I did the bend there, that they choked out pretty quick, okay? If as long as you're hitting it straight, it rings. But when you pull it up on the neck, it seemed to choke out. But it's stupid low. It's below 0.03 on the high E. I would never, I would never do that to a guitar because I know the notes are going to choke out and like what Kurt's saying. But it plays really nice. I mean, as straight as this thing is, I would probably set it at like 0.055. I mean, that's still stupid low. And maybe 0.055 on the high E too. Like I set the Ibanez up to 0.065 low E and high E. And every string is 0.065. So I didn't lower it as it went down. So from the bottom of the string to the fret is 0.065. I would probably, you know, the more I think, I'd probably just set this at 0.06. You know, that's me. But whoever wins the guitar, if you tell me your preferred action height on the 12th, and whether or not you want the neck set perfectly straight or a little relief, I'll set the guitar up before I send it to you. But it's a beautiful guitar. So let's stick it in the gig bag here. That's what I was getting ready to do. Kind of hard to do with my headphones on and everything. I do like these Gator big gig bags. One, it's $30. So if you don't have a case, there is a little bit of padding there. So it's not just a dust cover. There is a little padding. So in our room, we have a bunch of these set up like that, and I'll lay them over. And we have yet to have any guitar damage from using these cases. Jupe's guitars, Devastator's guitar, Smoothie's Bun's guitar, Brian over at Searching for Tone. As guitars come and go here, and they're in the shop, they're put in these bags if they're not on the wall on repair hangers. And we have yet to have any issues with them. So at $30, that's kind of hard to beat. So that's the giveaway for this month. Let me go over here and set it down. And I'm going to pick up Jupe's guitar next, and we want to listen to Jupe's guitar before it leaves. So Jupe was in the chat, so hopefully he can chime in. There was a lot of work done to this guitar. It really shouldn't say Schecter on the neck anymore because there's nothing Schecter left on it. I reshaped and reworked the headstock on the guitar. I reshaped the back of the neck on this guitar. Now there's no shoulder right here. So if we look, there's absolutely no shoulder. I have blent this curvature right into the heel of the guitar. So there's 1/32 of an inch flat spot right through here. And I've really, you can see how I've cut that back. See how drastic that is? Versus the factory where it just kind of, so I'm keeping the neck thin. And this neck also changes thicknesses as it goes across. It's not dead, it's not the same thickness, okay, across like this. It actually goes diagonally across the neck. 1 millimeter. So the center ridge of the neck isn't the center of the neck on the guitar. It actually shifts a millimeter off center on the top and a millimeter off center at the bottom. So it's a 2 millimeter total shift. We put a Jason Becker pickup in it. Okay, and it has a DiMarzio Area 51 right here. This is a stock Schecter pickup. We have a push-pull right here. Okay, and this is the push-pull for the humbucker. And this push-pull changes it from a .022 cap to a .047 cap.
Have you ever made a guitar?
100% made every component, no. But I've made about 80%. It doesn't make sense to do all of it yourself. It really doesn't. If you know, whether that's ordering a pre-slotted fingerboard from StewMac, or you know, ordering a body, let's say that XGP that Guitar Fetish has. They have some pretty nice bodies. I mean, it's a body, okay? So you can get your body there, maybe pick up a neck. Guys, it's not cheating, because if you take this Schecter neck, this no longer has any resemblance to a Schecter, okay? I took something, and I took their work, and I took it a step further. And it's the exact same thing when Gibson uses their CNC to do their arch tops with the bullnose bit. All it does is give you a rough shape.
Yes, super chat.
Oh, thank you so much. Who gave the super chat?
Jupe.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Jupe. It's just roughing it out. Someone still has to go back and do the handwork to make that guitar something. So when I look at this guitar, I look at it as Schecter roughed it out, and then I went back and polished it, if that makes sense. So don't let someone say, oh, you bought the neck and the body. If you're reshaping the back of the neck, okay, and you're going to do your own, like this has got a double chamfered fret dressing on it, trust me that this is a great fret job on this guitar. When you feel it, the frets are pronounced, okay, but there's nothing sharp. And I've broken the edge between every fret. So it has a played in feel, okay? And this fret is done kind of in between. It's not like a pyramid fret, and it's not flat. So it's going to give you a played in feel, but yet some aggression, if that makes sense. It's a nice in-between fret crown on this guitar. So let's turn it up and see what we get. Got the channel muted. And these are not locked. It holds tune. Now let's split the coil. You can hear the difference. This is our .022 cap. .047. It's got a really good sound. If we go up to our Area 51 pickup, .022. I'm still working on that. I got to figure out a resolve on it. But the guitar has a lot of output, a lot of gain now. The stock Schecter pickup. .047. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get this guitar to really have a lot of push. This is as much push as I can get out of the instrument, if that makes sense. Some other things that we did to the guitar. This is a Floyd Rose 1000 base plate, okay? And these are cast stainless steel saddles. They're awesome freaking saddles. It also has a very large brass block, and this has the Axe Labs claw. So, yeah, this is a stupid claw. It locks in your springs. So I'm going to try to get a really close view of that. Check out the claw on that bad boy. Look at how big that block is. And you can see that I had to clear the route for this block. And the claw is two pieces that bolt together, that lock the springs in. There's really nothing else that you can do to this guitar. Oh, and it has monster bolt nuts up here that are stainless. And this is a R4 that was cut down to fit the guitar. And then the string tree was changed. We put new tuners on it, locking tuners. And we just put the new block knobs on it. So it's quite the stupid instrument. There's really not much more. Well, I don't think there's anything that you could really do to this guitar to really improve it. It's at its factory limit, if that makes sense. And setup means a lot. If you take a guitar and it has good quality parts on it, and you get it set up to your particular preference, you're going to have a great instrument. This guitar is holding tune without the nut locked. It works extremely well. Jason Becker. Oh, it's a good play. I could play this thing all night long. If you guys have any questions on why we did certain things on Joop's guitar, now's a good time to ask. I am proud of the work that was done on this guitar. You almost have to play the original one and then play this one. This guitar really, it's the neck. You know, I hear a lot of people talk about guitars. If the neck on the guitar is right and the fret feel is right and it's broken in right, and this is me, okay? I could pick up a guitar and it's like, oh, this is fun. And you hand it to somebody else, they're like, yeah, you know, that's not me. I like more of an aggressive feel. I like a sharper edge here. I want more of a, you know, a pyramid type fret. I want to really bite into it. I tried to build this guitar to where it would do a lot of different things really well. So I tried to do a lot of blending of character across the board. This would be a great guitar to build production-wise for a manufacturer, because you don't know who's going to go into the store and pick it up. I think this guitar would lend itself to a larger crowd, if that makes sense. And that's what we tried to do. We just tried to make a kick-ass player. And look at the front of the bridge on this thing. It's stupid. And if you have a Floyd Rose that has the little screen printed piece on it, just pull it out of your guitar and please put it in the trash can. There's no helping that bridge. Everyone knows I'm a little biased. I am not a Floyd Rose person. I think you can make a Floyd Rose work and they can work reliably. You just can't use all Floyd Rose parts. And if you do, it's hit and miss. I hate to say that. You can make them work. This is proof. The design does work. You just need to know what components to use. And there's certain parts to stay away from. The bridge with the screen written Floyd Rose, it's very soft, cheap metal. The Floyd Rose Special, stay away from it. If it does hold tune, it's not going to hold tune for very long. The knife edges will wear. The 1000 and the 1500 seem to be the sweet spot. I would stay away from any Floyd Rose made in the United States for at least another year. They are still teething, if that makes sense. I think they still need a pacifier for a little while. Let them work out their bugs. Let them work out the manufacturing and their vendors. Let someone else be the squirrel on, the gerbil on the wheel. You don't want to be the person that spends $300 to find out the product isn't quite there yet. And I've heard other people that I trust say there's some issues still there. So I would hold off on the USA made stuff. Maybe find a 1000 bridge, and you can go back and watch our video, how to build a better bridge. And we build this bridge and another bridge, two completely different price points. You can build this bridge cheaper than you can buy the Floyd Rose American or the 1500. You can with already hot rodded, excluding the claw. The claw is stupid expensive, but just the claw in this guitar is $85 just for the spring claw. It's crazy expensive, but it adds so much. It really does. Just the way it... The guitar doesn't have the stainless steel bright slap you in the face sound from the saddles because it has that huge brass block. It's not just the height, it's the thickness of the brass block.
Joop said the special bridge works okay for a little bit, then it just dies. Everything strips out.
That's the point. It's good if you're at home playing and you're playing maybe 5 or 6 hours a week. You might get a couple years out of that bridge. But if you're planning on playing it and you're a diehard player and you're playing a couple hours every night, you're not going to get more than 2 years out of it. Maybe if that. It's just a softer metal. It's made, I don't want to call it junk because it's not junk. It's made to a price point. I would far rather have a Floyd Rose special than what LTD and Jackson and all these other companies now are going to this screen printed China-made. It's a China-made Floyd Rose. So it's not Floyd Rose. It's the same people that was making the cheap China Floyd Rose bridges. They're just paying Floyd Rose to stick the Floyd Rose name on it now. And I hate to say that, that's pretty much what they did. And Floyd Rose is accepting it because they're getting a little piece of the pie now. So it's a $65, $70 bridge, brand new. And Floyd Rose is getting a little money and they're making money. So that pretty much tells you the quality of what they have to make at what price point. You can't do much at 40, 35, 40 bucks. And that's what that company has to build that bridge at. That's impossible. I hate to say it. It's impossible to make a high quality product at that point. But I think the 1000, if you want to do a 1000, I have a stock 1500 in my Schecter. I think it's a great bridge. Now, it's all stainless. So how Schecter got around that, it's a stainless steel plate, stainless steel saddle. They put a massively wide brass block in it, and it has a stainless claw on the top side. And I don't know what the material of the springs is. It's got a funny looking, like orangey yellow color spring in it. It's almost like a heat treated metal, like the color the metal gets when it's heated and then cooled. So I don't know what the makeup of the spring. Even at that rate, I think the Schecter at times can be a little bright. But the pickup they put in, it's very dark sounding. So they tried to pick components to offset all that stainless steel. And I think they did a good job. And this one, we tried to find a balance. This is steel, stainless, and brass, all kind of mixed together. And this company actually makes a different saddle where you can do the main saddle in stainless. And then this little component right here, they mill that out and they can put steel in it or brass. Now it's twice the cost, but if you're wanting to do it, I would probably do the stainless saddle with the brass insert, okay, and then do a steel block, and I think you would get a very attacky, warm sound, if that makes sense. Every little thing makes a difference, and you just got to kind of experiment. The drawback is sometimes it's expensive to experiment to find out whether or not it's going to work or not. So that's what the chat's about. If you guys have experimented between steel, brass, stainless, what's been your experience, changing your tone? That's the big thing. How does it affect it? Because now when you get all that done, now you have your pickups to think about and changing your cap and how you wire it. All that affects it too. You can, if your guitar is very bright, you can go in and do some stuff in the wiring to take that brightness and that edge down from all that stainless steel on your bridge. So there's a bunch of different ways of doing it. And a brass block. Yep, that's JR. Yeah, that's what this one does. Look at that. For those that are just joining. Check out the claw. Look at that claw. And that huge, look at how much clearance I had to do on that cavity route for that massive block. It's a stupid claw. I mean, it's a stupid claw in this guitar. The guitar has a nice pull too when you're. It plays without picking it as long as you're precise on your pulls. It does well. This is a great playing guitar.
Did you ever notice a difference between a block trim or floating? I could hear slightly less sustain when I take the trim off the block and strum it acoustically on my Jackson JS. That's whole hound.
Yeah, I mean, a block tremolo, you're having more contact to the wood body, so technically you should get more sustain. This is a floating bridge, so you're limited to the inserts and the point in the screw. And a lot of people will tell you if the knife edge is right, there's very little surface area contact there. That's the point in the knife edge. So since you've eliminated all your contact surface in your knife edge to the posts, you have to reintroduce that somewhere. So the big block isn't attached to the guitar. It still has to go through the springs and into the claw. So you'll see people update their claw and then they get these little teeny weeny screws. Well, this was rebored, and look at the heavy duty screw. Look at the diameter of those screws holding that claw. They're massive.
Kurt says, compared to your FR 1500, how would you rate the one you built?
I'd say this is just as good. The FR 1500 should last longer because the base plate is harder, if that makes sense, Kurt. Because you have a stainless steel base plate. I think this bridge is a little warmer sounding than the Schecter. Like I said, the Schecter's kind of bitey. I mean, you can't have both. I like the bite, but also like a little warmth. You know, I'm the typical guitar player. I want both. I think Schecter did a great job with that stainless steel bridge. But the stainless steel bridge technically should last longer because this is a steel hardened plate. And I'm not saying this is a nice plate. The FR 1000 and even the 1500 steel, they're nice plates. But since that one's stainless, it should last longer, okay? But I think they're both great. I don't have an issue with that one going out of tune, and this one doesn't go out of tune either. And I don't even have the locking nut locked. So I don't know if I would try that on the Schecter. I would have to go through and make sure everything in here is cut out and evened out like I did on Joop's guitar. You can do it. It just takes time, guys. You can get in here and you can clean all the burrs out of your nut to where when this, the locker itself makes contact, it's making a solid contact, okay? There's two ridges on there. And if you look at your nut, there's a little hump. Well, when those two ridges come down on that nut, the center of this locker should not be touching the string. If it is, you need to go in here and clear this out a little bit. That's why there's two ridges are there, because there's a slight angle change in the nut. Look really close. And that's there so those two spots pinch the string, front and back. Okay? If you put it down and it looks like the center's touching and it's not machined out right, clean up the bottoms of your nut and then clean the burrs out across here. It needs to set nice. It needs to be able to move if it's not locked, just like a regular conventional nut. But when you lock this, those two raised ridges need to make contact to that string and push on the flattened spot here. If that's doing this in there and it's not nice and smooth, when it brings the string down, it could be setting on one of those high spots. And then it can move back and forth. Like this is the string and it's just happened to be setting, pretend this is a little burr. Well, now it's going to want to roll back and forth on that burr. So just try to clean it out. Get your surfaces as clean as they can be. Double check things and just keep working on it. Make sure that your block back here does not roll in the tremolo. Floyd Rose their tolerances, I hate to say it, Floyd Rose tolerances suck. Even if you get good Floyd Rose, the tolerance and the blocks on these, that's the difference. If I show you the block in the Schecter, that's stock Floyd Rose. There's a little play in that block because the machining tolerance isn't like these. These saddles are far superior to the Schecter saddles. So if I wanted to upgrade my Schecter stainless steel bridge, I would get some of these saddles because this block, when it's set in that square part of the machining, there's no play. That block doesn't move. Okay. The recess pin on the back of this block is deeper than the stock Floyd Rose. And the diameter of this piece here, this screw, is larger on this cache set than the stock. Would the stock ones ever fail? It's stainless. So, you know, that little bit of playroom that's in there, you shouldn't have a problem. But as far as machining tolerances, these are better saddles. So hopefully that, you know, kind of gives you what I feel about both. I think this is a great bridge. Joop, he trusted me, and I told him, I said, Joop, don't spend $320 on an original, and don't buy a 1000 and buy the hot rod. Let's just order the plate, and we're going to order our parts, and we're going to build a custom bridge. And I think it was like $320 in parts to build this bridge. So it doesn't make sense to buy an FR1000 and then turn around and buy upgraded saddles. Just buy your base plate and buy individual components, and you're going to have the same money in it versus buying one of a higher quality Floyd Rose bridge like a FR1000, FR1500, or well, you can't buy the German one. I wouldn't buy the USA one. But before you buy a 1500, you can build a bridge like this, if that makes sense. If you really want to go crazy, you can get a 1500 stainless steel base plate, which is harder, and then do the 1500 stainless steel posts, and then build the bridge on top of that. I think Joop's going to get many years of service out of this. I don't hear people saying the 1500 and 1000 base plates fail. It's a decent hardened metal. My Jackson Floyd actually hits a rubber pad under it, and I can get all my action lower without the trim knives sliding out of the center of the pots. I have to remove that pad and route. That's another thing that a lot of people do. And I hear, I'm not going to say it's, everyone has a point of view, okay? And everyone has a reason they think a certain way. Don't take all the strings off your bridge. If you got a Floyd Rose, there's no freaking reason why you should loosen all the strings and put a block behind it and cut all the strings off of it.
Joop said I'm happy the way it is now.
Yeah, I think it's, Joop, man, when you get it, just play it and please let me know.
Kurt said if I'm going to spend over $300, I'm getting a Kaler.
I don't think you can get a Kaler now for $300, Kurt. That's the problem. The Kaler that I want is almost $600. When you start hitting the option stuff on the 2700, it goes to $550 real quick. And I'm not. I agree with you. The Kaler's a better bridge, 100%. And the Kaler Killer is 500% better bridge. But you can't get a Fulcrum base. I think it's like a $350 now. So this is a little cheaper. And you got to look at what you're getting. If to get a Kaler with the high mass rear block and stuff this tremolo, you can't say 320. It's actually 400 when you consider the claw. So at $400, can you get the stainless steel, the high mass block, the upgraded claw, a nice turbo bar? I mean, there's no slop whatsoever in this bridge.
Kurt said, LOL, same. The Kaler I want is over 600.
Right. And I agree with you. It's a kick butt bridge, but this is cheaper. and it's going to do a heck of a job. It is. Now, on Joop's thing, I would say Joop needs a cam tremolo. I think, Joop, you don't want to buy the fulcrum bass. I've talked to you before about building you a guitar. If you're ever interested in it, I would go out, try to find a Kaler cam bass bridge, play it, and see if you like it.
Trucker Bob said, I just passed Front Royal rolling south to Alabama.
See, he could have stopped and got a hot dog with us. Could have met at Walmart like we always meet. All right, man. I got to talk to you anyway, so maybe reach out to me tomorrow on Discord so we can chat. I got to talk to you about your guitar. I know I got some parts here for it. I got to get Devastator's guitar right here done. That's what I want to work on tomorrow. And that brings us to our next thing. During break, we had a dungeon update. Dungeon update today. We completely tore the dungeon apart. It was pretty unruly down there. I had to clean up my work area, get tools reorganized, do some cleaning. I have my workbench reorganized, but the other side is still a mess. So I don't know if I'm going to just leave it the way it is. I mean, I already have the new shop towel and everything up and clean on the bench. So I could technically take the PRS down there and fix the fret sprout, put new strings on it, and give it a setup and get that guitar. Should be able to finish it pretty much in one day of work. So I might do that tomorrow. But I'll be honest with you, I have been working a lot. One at work and one here. You can ask Linnell. I haven't had any free time. So I don't know if I might just sleep in a little bit tomorrow and relax. I think everyone needs a little disconnect. As much as I love working on guitars and playing music, you still need a little bit of a disconnect. The drawback is today was the good day. So between cutting the grass and taking care of everything I had to do outside and going downstairs and reorganizing, that was my day. Tomorrow they're calling for rain, so I won't be able to do my second love, which is to go out and ride the motorcycle. Yeah, you guys know it. I'm a guitar player, motorcycle. I love my motorcycle. I want to ride my motorcycle, and I want to play my guitar. So those are my two loves. I don't think I could do well. I could live without them, but I probably just wouldn't be a happy camper. That's the difference. I don't have to play the guitar, but I'm sure I'd be a little moody. I don't have to ride my bike, but I'm sure I'd be a little moody. If you guys feel the same way, just, put in there. Those are my two things and I gave up RC. I did. I can't, just too many expensive hobbies. So I no longer fly my helicopters. It's just the bike now and music. I see we just fell in love with the neck on the JS32. Yeah. I mean, Jackson makes good products. We're on the fence right now. We don't know what Jackson's doing with the Virtuoso. Certain vendors say they can't reorder. And then certain models aren't coming back. There are certain Virtuosos that are still able to be ordered. So I really want a Jackson Virtuoso. I want an American-made Jackson. It's just I got too many things that I need to do. I want to upgrade my cameras. That's the next thing the channel wants to do is upgrade the cameras.
Bullhound said, I ride bikes too. Have a M50 bobber. Whereabout you guys live? I'm in Phillipsburg, Easton area, New Jersey.
We are in Northern Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. We're in the Metroplex in Front Royal, Virginia. We're right on the outer edge of the western side of the Metroplex in Washington, D.C. So there's a group down here called Bikes and Breakfast. They get together, and there's a small get-together will be 60 people. A big get-together will be 250, 300. So you might want to plug into that and see where I know Bikes and Breakfast does a thing up in Baltimore. I think that's as far east and north as they go. So if you could look into maybe Bikes and Breakfast or get together in Baltimore or Annapolis. I don't think Annapolis, Maryland might not be too far since you're New Jersey. Baltimore would probably be the closest. Baltimore for us is about an hour and 20-minute drive to get up to Baltimore, depending on traffic. So yeah, let's see a bike convention if you want to get together during anything bike. Like I said, Bikes and Breakfast is usually up there. It's pretty cool. All right, guys. We are 100% tired after working all day, but we are dedicated to doing a stream every Thursday and every Saturday. And I definitely wanted to come on tonight and see you guys and go over the progress that we've made, especially the HX Stomp. I think that moving forward, we may do this. We didn't even plug into the tube amplifier tonight. I do have it wired up, but you know, I'm going to agree with Kurt. I'm going to work on the HX Stomp platform, and I'm going to try to develop a nice clean sound, maybe a dirty sound, a high gain sound, and a stupid gain sound. 4 sounds, and try to get something programmed this week with this, and that's going to clean up my area here. And we're going to use this. And then when we demo Devastator's guitar, we definitely want to plug it into the Ignitor and get some sounds out of the Ignitor. So hopefully by the time we send that back, the Ignitor will be up and running, which it is. And maybe I can get a clean sound on the HX Stomp before we demo that guitar and send it to him. So my goal is to get that guitar in the mail to him next weekend. That's my goal. Because it's a very expensive instrument, and he wants it. We just want to fix a couple things before he gets it. Go back, watch the review. You'll notice that it had a warp pick guard and fret sprout. So we're going to rectify those issues, do a setup on the guitar, and put new strings on it. All right, guys, I want to thank everyone for coming in. If you're new, please go down, hit the like button, consider subscribing. We're trying to be a different kind of channel on YouTube. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to plug stuff in, just like the HX Stomp. Okay, there's our HX Stomp. You guys heard how we made changes. We're going to make changes. We're trying to be a channel. If you buy the product, you're going to kind of see the struggles that I have using the product. I don't know it. We just went through a couple settings, made some changes. Hopefully that gives you an idea of what it sounds like. But that's what the channel's about. The channel's about learning and the problems that we have. And our main goal is to review instruments, okay? If you have a guitar that you'd like to see on the channel, please go down to the comments section and post, hey, this would be a great guitar. Discord's another good place to do it. But we need more comments at the end of the video in the comment page. That really helps YouTube push the stream out so new people can find the content. I 100% enjoy watching and listening to your all's comments. You guys kind of make the stream. If you guys are interactive, you kind of push the stream a certain direction. Kurt seemed to be really vocal tonight, and I like that. When I get Kurt's tail going, I know the stream's going in the right direction because he wants to go, hey, did this, hey, that. You know, that's what we need. You know, and if I missed your comment, I apologize. We're going to work on that a little bit too. Right now, Devastator can't flag me, but he can flag Linnell. So if I miss something, Devastator sometimes will flag her, and then I have Linnell in my headphones, plus you get to hear her. So we are working on it. We're trying to be better. And I think we do some of the best for guitar reviews on YouTube. So go check them out. There's some pre-recorded and there's some on live. So look under video and live if you go to the main page. We don't post junk. If we're coming live, it's a scheduled stream. If it's a review, it's a review. It's a review of the instrument. It's not me plugging it in, jamming, and telling you it's great. We're trying to be different. All right, guys, thanks so much. For those that gave a super chat, thank you. That allows us to buy the giveaway guitars, okay? And it's also helped buy a mic here and a mic there. So we're trying to make better. The next camera we're buying is expensive. So any help through super chats is greatly appreciated. We've spent a lot of money here trying to do a good stream. So we're trying to be a little better. And anything that you guys can think that can help the stream that I'm not doing, please post. That the stream has gotten better due to you guys saying, hey, this needs to be worked out. And I think we're getting it. All right, guys, we're going to do our typical 5-minute ending window that allows everyone to say goodbye and post any comments that you think may help the stream. And then come back and post in the comment section of the video. That really does help. All right. If you hit the subscribe button, thank you so much. If you hit the like button, thanks again. That does help. And I'm going to see everyone before Thursday. We're going to do a stream before Thursday. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow night. It'll probably be a Monday night stream, guys. I think tomorrow we're going to disconnect, do a Monday night stream, and then hit our review stream on Thursday nights. Again, thanks, guys. And let's do our insane. I think it's this one.